Hello and welcome to the Championship Decider. This is the Vittoria EWS Tweed Valley. It has all boiled down to this. An absolutely thrilling season of EWS racing comes to a conclusion right here in a part of the world that has helped to shape and define so much of modern mountain bike culture. We're at the stunning Traquair House in the Tweed Valley in Scotland for the Vittoria EWS Tweed Valley that will decide who is going to walk home with this year's championship. Let's have a look at those all-important championship standings. In the pro women's race, Melanie Pugin leads the way. She is currently 435 points clear of Morganne Charre, the victor of the last round in finale Liguri, with some real momentum behind her. With a total of 570 points up for grabs for the win, pro and queen stage victories, it is doable for Charre, but you get the feeling that something would have to not go according to plan for Pugin for that to be the case. Isabeau Courdurier has some defending to do if she wants to hold on to third, but crucially, she is now outside of a points calculation, which would result in her retaining her title. So at the end of racing this weekend, we will have a new champion. In the pro men's title race, well, if you don't know what's been going on here, then where have you been? Moir versus Richie has been a battle for the ages. They've been inseparable all year. Moir leads the way by just 70 points, so you get the feeling that this one is a straight fight. Whoever finishes highest takes the title. Let's dive straight into it then. Here it is, the title decider. Who is going to walk away with the 2021 Enduro World Series crown? Here's stage one.
The last pro stage of the year was Pale Armadillo, a 1.7 kilometre plunge down some inner-leaving classics before a fast, wide-open section through the field to the line. After a heavy day of rain, the conditions were more ferocious than ever.
That was so good, yeah, like, the more rain the better here, so the conditions were just perfect, it was mint.
It was an emotional day for two of the sport's most established names. Damien Otton and Robin Wallner were riding in their final EWSs. In the pro women's race, championship leader Melanie Pugin was slightly off the pace, potentially playing it cautious in the tricky conditions.
Struggled to brake. I tried to ride with this and I was not able to do that. Like, my fingers are freezing. But it was really fun. Like, the crowd is awesome, the event is beautiful.
Jess Stone, one of the Tweed Valley's finest, was up into third position. But it was another local, Bex Baraona, who came out on top, clocking the fastest time.
Pretty wild conditions, quite hard to keep the body warm at the top there. Decided lensless and yeah, a bit of a wild ride, but I just love it here. Like, the people on the track were, everyone was screaming my name, it was so good.
The Ibis Cycles rider won the pro stage and put herself into pole position for the following day's racing. Another local rider on the move was Lewis Buchanan. He would finish the pro stage in 3rd place.
Just clean. Vision was so difficult. Yeah, just really hard to see. But a lot of grip to be had, so I'm praying that it keeps raining.
Martin Maes is riding his way back to the kind of form that can see him win races seemingly at a canter. He threw everything at the pro stage and came away with 2nd.
I think the rain is just making the tracks better. There's actually much more grip than what I expected. It's rocky, so there is a hard soil underneath, and I had a really good stage. I enjoyed myself. A lot of spectators out there, so it was good.
At the top of the stage, the title contenders waited to find out who would win the weekend's first battle. Richie Rude dropped first and was looking fast. Until disaster struck, he rode outside of the course on the pro stage around 3 gates. He crossed the line and went into the hot seat. Jack Moir was the last racer left at the top. Moir made short work of the pro stage and took the fastest time.
She was a loose one. Better traction than yesterday actually, because there was a lot of water on the track, but still a few sketchy moments, hard to see. Went with the rolls, paid off. Yeah, I don't want to be cold, but at the same time, done a lot of mud riding in Morganne this year and haven't had a race to put it to the test, so I'm good either way.
But those missed gates would prove to be so much more costly than Rude could have imagined. After a review, the UCI decided that they were worthy of a disqualification. He couldn't take the start the following day. His chances of a 3rd EWS title were gone. The focus shifted to Jack Moir. With Richie out, Jack would start the following day as the last man on the hill, the champion-elect. Sunday arrived brighter and warmer, complete with a whole new set of challenges. The first of which was pre-drinks, one of the most physical tests of the day, now coated in a thick layer of Tweed Valley mud.
I knew it was going to be pretty hard, but that was way harder than I thought it would be. Everyone's going to have huge mistakes down that, I'm sure.
Moir was slightly off the pace at the start of the day. A couple of errors had crept in. Could Jack survive the rest of the race?
It's hard in this stuff, hey? Trying to duck around trees and like the roots and stuff jerking everywhere. Yeah, I landed right on it then and it hurt, but it stayed in. No pressure now, so just enjoy it. Hopefully stay on the bike the next one.
It was another superb ride from Jess Stone, second fastest on the stage and now second in the overall.
really thick mud. They just don't go anywhere. So yeah, try to push hard, get that one out of the way, backing up for more.
Oh, exactly what I thought it was going to be like. Super physical. Kept it alright, hit a little tree, but I'd be surprised if anyone had a clean run down there.
Trek's Hattie Harnden came out of her corner swinging. She won the stage by 5.75 seconds to take control of the race.
That was really hard actually. Like there's lots of little bits pedaling and it's so slow in a couple of places you're trying to pedal even when it's not flat, so really physical, but I didn't fall off, so it was really good.
The UK riders were loving the stages in Scotland. Bernard Kerr and Sam Dale were both riding well.
Mint. Oh, I thought it was a downhill track, but just the start, because it's fresh, it's just right boggy.
Lewis Buchanan had started to slide back in the overall. He was in the 8th after the opener. Jesse Melamed, on the other hand, had started the day as he meant to continue. He was 3rd on the stage and 3rd in the overall.
Lost my foot, side saddled, and like it's just too tight, and I just clipped a tree and went down. But after that, I just let the crowd bring me home because I was just like, I'm cooked.
Adrien Dailly was also warming up as the day continued to brighten. He was up to 2nd.
You know, it's nice and sunny, but this track I guess is pretty fresh, and I think the best thing was that it rained all day for that stage. It was so boggy, so slow, so physical, but I believe that the next stages are going to be much better.
Martin Maes was at home in the mud, in the lead of the race by over 5 seconds. So good they named it twice. New York, New York is a Tweed Valley staple and would play host to the 3rd stage of the race.
Got tears of happiness. Like that crowd is insane. It's like really making me well up because this year's been savage, and that crowd is just amazing.
Morganne Charre put her flat pedal skill set to full effect to take the stage and was now climbing in the overall. At the front, it was the Battle of Britain. Stone, Harnden and Baraona were in a class of their own. As they rolled out of New York, it was Jess Stone who had the advantage. She had the lead for the first time in an Enduro World Series.
Gosh!
Mate, the nightmare continues. I'm asleep at the wheel, mate. After I got the news last night, I was just like, couldn't sleep, eh? I was so pumped. Got about 2 hours sleep and now I just think I can't focus.
More tired. I don't want to say I'm tired, but like arms are hanging. Like you have to do so much work in these trees, and so you're just like, okay, you have to keep doing work because like the trees are just right there, and I feel like I'm just dodging left, right, and center. The crowd is unreal. Like so good. They're all like, you can hear the passion in their voice.
Jesse Melamed roared on by the crowd, leapfrogged Adrien Dailly and was now in second place. Maes was still out front though and looking harder and harder to catch. He remained in front and in control.
I'm really enjoying this day. You know, the crowd is insane on the track, so it just feels amazing to ride. You know, between those trees and spectators, it's such a good atmosphere out there.
The fourth stage was Big Ball, one of the shortest of the day at just over 1.4 kilometres in length. Jack Moir had his first clean stage of the race and was starting to enjoy himself.
Yeah.
That one's a bit more fun. Finally get a bit more flow going. Starting to enjoy it a bit more. It's good.
Specialised Racing Charlie Murray was having another brilliantly consistent race day in 2021. He was now into 9th in the overall. Jesse Melamed won his first stage of the race. He had felt his way into the day and now had Maes firmly in his sights. In the pro women's race, GT's Noga Karem was still riding well. She was in 5th on the stage and now up to 4th in the overall.
The whole race is like super fun, crowd is awesome, super physical.
Melanie Pugin, the champion-elect, was having, by her standards, a quiet day out on the stages. She knew that a top 10 result would equal top honours in the overall.
Oh, lot of rocks everywhere.
Jess Stone crossed the line to win the stage and extend her lead, but quite quickly it was apparent that something was wrong. A glancing blow from a tree had left her with a hand injury. She was determined to carry on, but was eventually convinced by the medics that her day was over. The Queen stage awaited. Big deal was a tight, tree-lined hit of near constant direction changes. With the stage finished down into the village of Walkerburn, the Scottish crowds were beginning to fill the final stages. Jack Moir was through the Queen stage safely and sitting fourth in the overall. There was now just one more stage between him and the title. With the women's race now wide open, it was all to play for. Morganne Charre claimed another stage win, but a second place on the stage meant that Hattie Harnden now edged her way into the lead of the race.
I've just about managed to stay on. Had a lot of sketchy moments, a lot of sliding around, hell of a lot of fun. Just trying to piece a good one together. I'm feeling good, I've got in the groove, I'm excited.
She was ahead of Bex Baraona by just 4.36 seconds. Adrien Dailly pushed hard through the turns of Big Deal and was third. Jesse Melamed continued his blast towards the top spot. He won the last Queen stage of the year and took home the points. But Maes was just behind him in second to keep hold of the lead.
All over the place.
But with one stage to go, the gap between him and the hard-charging Melamed was down to just 2 seconds. The final stage of 2021 was a rerun of the opener. Pale Armadillo, named after the Tempest Brew co-favourite, was now lined with screaming fans and ready to play host to a fittingly epic encounter. Noga Karem was third on the stage. The Israeli had weathered the Scottish storms better than most and was rewarded with a fourth place finish for her efforts. Second on the last stage of the year was Morganne Charre, whose enduro stock has risen no end this season. She ended the day on another podium in third place. Harnden versus Baraona played out on Pale Armadillo. There has never been a closer season of Enduro World Series racing, and as if to prove that fact, that minor bobble from Hattie Harnden would cost her the race win. Bex Baraona would go on to take her maiden EWS victory by as little as 0.3 of a second.
Keep looking at the medal and then, hasn't sunk in at all. But yeah, my results were pretty mixed. We dropped into the last stage and I knew I was like 4 seconds back. I didn't want to come home with silver, so pull my finger out.
Melanie Pugin rode cautiously all day. She was enjoying the stages, but she was aware that maximum attack wasn't the required speed. She finished the day in 7th, and that was enough to secure her the overall, making her only the 4th woman in history to take the title. Da Vinci's Greg Callahan kept up his assault on the muck of Scotland and took a 7th place on the last stage of the day. It would result in a well-deserved 8th place in the overall for the Irishman. Murray's march continued on stage 6. The Kiwi came in 9th on the last stage and secured himself a 5th place in the Tweed Valley. Barring an 8th place on the pro stage on Saturday, Adrien Dailly turned in his most consistent scorecard of the year, having finished 2nd or 3rd on every stage, meaning that he would leave the Vittoria EWS Tweed Valley with a 3rd place.
Cheers for standing out in the cold all day for us, boys.
Jack Moir had been on a 24-hour roller coaster. All along he'd known that he was the champion-elect. And now, after giving it everything for one last time in 2021, he crossed the line to seal the deal. Canyon Collective's Jack Moir was a 2021 Enduro World Series champion. That left just one question. Maes or Melamed? Melamed pushed, but perhaps too hard. He finished the stage in 6th. Maes, on the other hand, was clinical. He went 5 seconds faster on the drying pale armadillo than he had done the day before to take the overall victory the only way he knew how, by winning the last stage of the year. The pro men's race results then looked like this. Maes from Melamed from Dailly. Jack Moir was 4th ahead of Charlie Murray. Sam Dale, taking on his first EWS in a couple of years, was also up there in 9th.
Something special was happening today. I felt like I was finally myself on the bike, and yeah, everything went so well. My riding was good, my confidence was there. It's been a rough few years, I would say, without winning since 2019. It was kind of a relief. When I crossed the finish line and I heard 1st place, it was very, very emotional.
And here's how those all-important overall championships look after 9 rounds of Enduro World Series racing. After a breathless 2021, the Pro Men's Championship looked like this. Jack Moir, a rider ranked 21st at the start of the season, takes the title ahead of Richie Rude, and the ever-battling Jesse Melamed is rewarded with the hotly contested 3rd place in the series. In the Pro Women's, Melanie Pugin takes the win ahead of Morganne Charre and the outgoing champ Isabeau Courdurier. In the team's race, Pivot Factory Racing won the day, but it was Canyon Collective who took the win in the overall chase thanks to having all their riders inside the top 10 all season. There we have it then. The sun has set on an epic Enduro World Series season for 2021. Melanie Pugin and Jack Moir are your series overall champions in what has been an absolute roller coaster from start to finish. On behalf of everyone from GMBN and the EWS, thanks for watching. We will see you back here at the Vittoria EWS Tweed Valley next June. Until then, thanks for watching.